Hi guys, it's time for my October wrap-up, and I read some incredible books this month that I'm really excited to go over, so let's get started. The first book I finished was The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, which is the final book in the Mistborn trilogy, which is an adult fantasy series set in an incredible world with amazing characters. It's about a group of friends who are overthrowing their government, and it's actually so much fun. I absolutely love this series. You fall in love with all of the characters. I love character dynamics and friendships and watching characters grow and learn and develop. That's like my main pleasure in reading. But also the world building is super unique and complex and creative with all of the literal world, which is completely different from ours, and the magic that's just so well thought out and sophisticated, and the people themselves. My favorite part of this book was learning more about the Kandra culture. I thought that was just fascinating, and I was living for Tensoon's chapters. It's an epic adventure set in a magical world, and yet the struggles that the characters go through are really relevant to everyone. Elend has his fears of becoming something that he hates. Vin has problems reconciling different parts of her personality and trying to figure out who she is. Tensoon has problems determining between perceived honor, what he thinks of as honor, versus what he knows is right for him. And Sazed has his struggles with depression and losing his path and losing his faith that everyone can relate to. So while it's set in this like fantastical world with magic and metals and gods and forces beyond comprehension, there's also so much humanity in it that makes it really easy to connect to the characters and get even more invested in an already fascinating story. The whole series is engaging and thought-provoking and emotional and entertaining, and why are there so many E's in this sentence? But it's just so good, and it's one of my favorite fantasy series at this point, and I cannot wait to pick up more Brandon Sanderson. I know there's a whole second part of the Mistborn trilogy set thousands of years later that I will get to, but at this moment I don't think I'm ready for the characters in Mistborn to be dead yet. So I need some time to process and think about that before I move on to that one. I had this problem watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, where the legend of Korra is set like not as quite as long as the second Mistborn series. It's set just a couple decades later. And I tried to watch that right after finishing Avatar, and I couldn't do it. I wasn't ready for everyone to be dead and old, and nope. So the same thing's happening here. I will be reading that at some point, but not right away. I obviously gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and I would highly recommend it to everyone, especially if you love fantasy. I actually made a reading vlog where I ended up finishing the second half of that book, and I got very emotional. If you want to see all of my thoughts and emotions in real time, go ahead and check it out. But after that absolute roller coaster, I needed something a little lighter with a little less drama. So I picked up The Princess of the Midnight Ball by Jessica Day George. And this is a YA 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, which is an old fairy tale that I absolutely loved as a kid for whatever reason. It was like my favorite fairy tale besides The Little Mermaid. And I have no idea why I love that story so much. It's about 12 princesses who every night they wear through their dancing shoes even though they're locked in their rooms and being guarded, and no one knows how it's happening or where they're going or how they're getting out and dancing the night away. And I don't know why I absolutely love that fairy tale, but I do, so I thought I'd pick up a sweet little retelling of it, and this was pretty good. It was a lot darker than I was anticipating, with evil kings and dark magic, and I don't think that's how the fairy tale was, but I thought it was a really good addition to this story. It also had some historical fiction elements with what appeared to be the Christian church in the old days. And overall, it was just a really cute love story. It was really sweet and entertaining. It was nothing super fantastic, But it was a cute little story that was perfect for a plane ride and just what I needed after all of the drama of Mistborn. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and it's the first in a series that I don't know if I'll be continuing. I may if I feel like reading something light again. I'm not sure yet. Maybe. So after that, my library hold for Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli came in, and I literally finished that audiobook in 2 days. I absolutely devoured it. It's about a boy named Simon who is having this anonymous relationship with another boy at his school over email, and someone sees his emails and uses it to blackmail him. It's a cute little high school romance, but it also is so much deeper than that. There's so many good messages about accepting people and understanding people and being tolerant, yet it was still an adorable little romance that you could just lose yourself in. It was entertaining and thought-provoking and just so well done. My favorite part was definitely the emails. I loved reading their exchanges and their conversations. It was just so cute and it made me smile and I loved it. I watched the movie right after finishing the book, and while the movie is very good, I still love the book more. All of the characters in the movie just seemed to be like a little bit off in their characterization, so that was kind of bothering me. But it was a really good movie and it was a really good book. So if you liked the movie, then I would recommend the book if you haven't read it already, because basically everyone on the planet has read this book and I am very late to the party. So I gave it 5 out of 5 stars and I absolutely love it. The next book I read was a little bit out of my genre, but I still enjoyed it, and it was The Postmortal by Magary. This is a sci-fi book where people have discovered the cure for aging. So you can still die, but you just can't die from aging. It leads to this crazy dystopian society that you get to see unfold through the main character's journal entries. So it was a really interesting construction for a book. Dystopian isn't really my favorite genre, and it was a lot more plot heavy than character heavy, which is also not my favorite, but I still found it really interesting just because the concept is really interesting and everything was eerily realistic. It literally started in 2019, which is next year, and people's reactions were completely realistic. You could totally understand how people would think the way they did, how things could develop from these relatable and sound mindsets that just makes it really creepy to read, because it's just so similar to our society, and it's so understandable that it's like, we could eventually make this society if a cure for aging was found, which it won't be. All of the science, speaking from a scientist perspective, a biologist perspective, their method of finding the cure for aging is not scientifically sound at all. But if at some point in the future we figure it out, this is like really creepy and this could actually happen, and it was freaking me out. Which is another thing I wanted to mention with the science. It was actually really well done. The way they constructed how this discovery was made and all of the steps it went through and everything involved in it was pretty accurate. The timeline was a little sped up, so things happened a lot faster than they would in a real scientific discovery, but the fact that they got most of the steps was really appreciated by me. So overall, I thought it was a good book. It made me think, and I would recommend it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I finished was Magi Volume 32 by Shinobu Ohtaka. This is an Arabian Nights manga following a group of friends on their epic adventures to save the world, and I love this series. I love the anime, and the manga is also pretty good. I like the anime a little bit more, but I want to finish the story and it's only complete in the manga, so I am reading the manga. I'm enjoying it. I liked the beginning part of the series much better than I'm liking this end portion of it. There's 37 volumes, so I'm nearing the end, and it's getting a little more blown out of perspective than in the beginning, which was more focused on like real personal human struggles. Later on in the series, it gets to be more like entire universes and gods and overarching magic and the flow of life, and it gets a little bit out of hand and a little harder to relate to and a little harder to connect with, but it's still really interesting and really well done. And I'm enjoying seeing where this story is going because it's just gotten so grand. Volume 32 specifically had a nice little reunion of the friend group and some character development that furthers the plot in a really interesting way. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I will obviously be continuing until I finish the series. And that's it for the books that I read in October. If you read anything incredible this month that I need to pick up right away, please let me know because I'm super interested. And I will see you later. Bye!